Welcome to Cardiff and the National Ice Rink for what promises to be an exciting match between two quality sides. It's the second leg of the first Benson Hedges Cup semi-final between Cardiff Devils and Sheffield Steelers. The first leg finished 6-3 in Cardiff's favour last night at Sheffield, so the Steelers have a really difficult task ahead of them, but they are in a good away team, and this match is beautifully poised. Yes, good evening to you. Welcome to Cardiff. It really does promise to be quite a night here between these two sides. The atmosphere building beautifully. We're bound to have a capacity crowd here, and although the ice is only a few feet away, it's going to be pretty hot, I think, in terms of action and entertainment. With me here to savour the action is Mike Blaisdell, the Nottingham Panthers coach. Mike, it's going to be some night, this, isn't it?
Well, I think so. Cardiff really did themselves a favour by going in and winning last night, and they made it a very tough assignment for the Steelers, but you know, you got two very good hockey teams, and the beauty about ice hockey is anything can happen on any given night, and we're in for a great game, I think. And of course, the Sheffield fans, they make a lot of noise, a lot of support for their side, and they're going to be really rooting for them here. Well, they were here early. They were here before I was at 4 o'clock, so you know, they're really pumped up, and they're going to try to help their team get themselves to that final. And I mean, again, I must say, it's going to be a great hockey game. Excellent. Fine. Well, we'll come back to you in just a moment. But first, let's remind you of what happened in the first leg. That was last night at Sheffield. Really something quite unexpected. Take a look at this. Cardiff are in red.
Pushed into the corner, all the way back to the blue. The shot is an easy one. Loose puck out front. And that's in the net. The first goal of the game. 18:02, and the Steelers celebrate. A lot of pressure with Scott Neal and Ron Haney buzzing around that goal. Ruggles looking for places to go on the left side. Cooper tips that through to Wallace. Wallace drops it back. This is nice. Cooper right in front. The tip is there. Ruggles scores! Ruggles was allowed to maneuver in the crease, and that levels it at 1 apiece. 6 minutes, 42 seconds remaining on the period. 1-1 the score. Lawless. Well, it's in! Lawless took a shot, and it was deflected, but McCoy did not see that until it was over the red line. You got to remember, although he's an excellent hockey player, McEwen, perhaps one of the best in the country, he's not a real defenseman to score! Nemeth took the shot, and McEwen was playing a defensive role in front of the net, but was it good enough? Over to Carson. Carson just flips it on the goal, and McCoy lost control of that. The shot was in, the score! Townsend could not believe his luck. He was out front. The puck bounced right to him, and he said, "What do I do now, coach? Shoot!" Another one is in the net. A shot from way back at the blue. Dumas gives the victory salute. Ian Cooper picks it up, slowly moves it down, finds Ruggles. Ruggles right in front. Whoa, that was pretty. Cooper over to Ruggles. Ruggles makes it 5. What's happening to the Steelers? Millie tries to get himself together. That doesn't happen, and here come the Devils. Dumas scores! Big goal! About 35 feet out. Lone shot. Solo effort by the French Canadian. Sugar races in on this one. Batted down just inside the blue line. Millie tries to get it in front. The back in, they score! Plummer at the far side of the net. Millie and Shudra instrumental in putting that one together.
I think we just obviously played defensive, shut them down, frustrated them, and took our chances on the break. And you know, they had more possession, they had more territorial advantage, but you know, at the end of the day, we put 6 by them, and they only got 3 on our net.
Well, you know, hopefully we can go out and play the same sort of style that we were playing last night. I mean, you know, we want to force them as much as possible. It's a little bit tighter building, and we want to go out and basically play the same way. We want to try and create a few more chances if we can, maybe get a few more guys to the net sort of thing, and crowd it up if possible, and try and stop their counterattack.
So that was the verdict after the match last night, and I suppose mathematically, Mike, we know what Sheffield have to do. They've got to score more than the 3 difference, but how tactically will they approach this match?
Well, I think you know, 3 goals is really not that much in a hockey game. I don't think they're going to change their tactics all that much to start the game off. But I would think as the game goes on, if they don't start bringing some goals back, they will have to start taking some chances. And that's when Cardiff may expose their defense, some of their weaknesses. So I think what Sheffield have got to do, they got to play it tight and play hard at the start, hope for a couple goals, and then just continue that way. But I think Cardiff will have other plans for them. I expect a real physical affair as well. I think both teams are strong, and they take the body. So that's what we're going to see.
One thing I must mention that last night, apart from the result, there was one moment when Tommy Plummer got a real big hit, and he really was whacked pretty hard, wasn't he? And this is something you don't see very often.
No, I think here he's coming up, he's got his head down, and Dougie McEwen catches him with his head down, bang! And I mean, you've got about 60-mile-an-hour impact, and Doug McEwen, clean hit, no penalty, and I'll tell you, I think he probably still feels cobwebs in his head tonight, and I'm sure there's a few players around the league smiling after seeing that hit, because Tommy isn't exactly the most well-liked player in the league, but he's a competitor. You have to give him credit, and to see him in the lineup tonight, a lot of players might not be playing after taking a hit like that.
He's a pretty tough guy, isn't he? Indeed, they all are.
Yeah, I mean, he's a credit to the game.
Excellent. Mike, thanks for that. We'll talk to you in just a couple of seconds again. But right now, we'll take a short break. Come back to us in a couple of minutes from now. And welcome back to Cardiff. I can tell you that it's all action here at the ice rink. It really is starting to buzz. The stadium's going absolutely crazy. And I can tell you that the first period was slightly overrun. So we are now going to go live to the action and join our commentary team of Gary Moran and Paul Ferguson.
The Steelers playing from left to right. Shoot the puck all the way down the ice. 37 seconds on the power play for the Devils. Shannon Hope, who's had an outstanding first period, gets the shot on the target. Ruggles behind the net. Ruggles, who's been double teamed just about everywhere he goes, loses out to O'Connor, but O'Connor gives it to Lawless. Loose puck trickles all the way to this side of the rink, and Shannon Hope couldn't keep it in the zone. 4-1 the score with the Devils leading out there, but Cranston now comes up with Millie. Cranston has a lot of room, takes a shot, and Jason Wood goes down and makes a big save with 3 seconds on the power play. Would have been a shorthanded goal. Lawless has McEwen. McEwen picks it up. He's got Ruggles right in front of the net. The Devils are caught now as the Steelers come back in a hurry. Millie breaks in, slams on the brakes and falls, and Lawless picks up the loose puck. Shot is high off the meshing out there, and Nemeth grabs it and puts it back as the teams are now back at full strength.
Okay, any whistle.
Wilson breaks to one side. Shudra picks up the puck and feeds it up on the right wing. Townsend goes after his man as we now have 1 minute remaining on the first period. What an exciting penalty-filled first period it's been. Shudra. Neal couldn't hang on to that. Nemeth lost sight of it. Dumas, the star of the first period, with a couple of goals in 7 seconds, brings it up now. Dumas tries to stick out through a crowd. Wilson gets there first and backhands it around the corner of the rink. Neal tries to find Plummer. Handy is over there, but the Devils get it over the red and just shoot it in. 38 seconds remaining on the period as that's cleared up and chipped over the boards by Scott Neal. Will have a face-off.
For the first time in this period, we've got a spell of even-handed play, 5-on-5. The Steelers have paid the price of trying to rough up the Cardiff Devils. The Cardiff Devils have too much experience for that kind of approach to affect them.
Well, we can tell you that every time the Devils get a penalty and the Steelers have a power play, a couple of seconds later, the Steelers come back with a silly penalty to even it up out on the ice. Ruggles gets a glove hand on that. Lawless gives it to Chin. Chin, big shot, just misses the far post. Carson couldn't handle that. Stone picks it up and gives it away. Shot. Wide of the target. O'Connor, good pass up to Scott Neal. There goes the buzzer. And what an excellent first period for the Cardiff Devils. As I said, a penalty-filled first period, but the Devils came out firing with Doug McEwen picking up a goal, Chin, and then Dumas and Dumas again. Tommy Plummer on the power play was the only Sheffield Steeler to put the puck in the net.
Sheffield got some shots on target this period, which was something they failed to do in the first leg when they went 3 goals behind, but the shots weren't being converted. Jason Wood was making the first save, and then quite often having to sit on the puck or something silly to complete the save and stop the rebound getting back into Steelers' hands, but he managed to do that, and at the other end of the ice, his forwards were outstanding and they took their opportunities again.
Alex Dampier has got to go into that Steeler dressing room and say, hey, you guys stay out of the penalty box. These penalties are killing us. You can be physical, but the tripping, the holding, the cross-checking, these things are silly. They're not good penalties, especially when you have a power play.
Especially when they've got the man advantage. They're throwing away that advantage. Knock the puck around, get the shots on net. They were getting back into the game. They were getting on top on the run of the play and the way it was going, but then they'd take a silly penalty, as you say, Paul, and we'd be back 4-on-4, or in fact they were taking 2 penalties sometimes and ending up on the penalty kill themselves.
The first game was 6-3 for Cardiff. They lead this one 4-1. 20 minutes of hockey gone. We still have 40 minutes of hockey to come. Let's go over now and talk to Dave and Mike.
Thank you very much indeed, Paul. Well, I did warn you. I said it was going to get hot, and certainly the action has been fast and furious in this first period. You remember we've got Mike Blesdell with us from Nottingham. And Mike, really, have you ever seen such an eventful first period?
Well, I think the problem with both teams is they're taking a lot of penalties, but the thing is, Cardiff Devils look like the hungrier side right now. They're all over the Steelers, and the Steelers don't seem to be very organized. They threw away a good opportunity at the beginning of the game to score some goals on the power play, but you know, the Devils just look like they want it more. They want to play in that on December 3rd in the final more than the Steelers do.
But an awful lot of infringements and the referee finding fault with a lot of the action.
Yeah, I think it was, you know, Taggart came out and he tried to keep things tight. He doesn't want the thing to get away from, you know, doesn't want the players to take cheap shots at each other and what have you. So he's called it very tight. But, you know, again, the Steelers on their power plays just look very ineffective.
And what would you think now is the mood in the Cardiff Devils dressing room? I mean, they've got off to the dream start, haven't they? Well,
they've made it very tough on Sheffield, and now I think they've just got to come out and keep playing the way they are. They're beating them to the loose pucks constantly, and that's the problem. Sheffield are sitting back. It looks to me that Sheffield feel like they're protecting the lead, but whereas Cardiff seem to be the ones that are challenging and pushing forward.
Still a long way to go, but Cardiff certainly got to be favourite at the moment.
Wow, it's going to be very tough. Sheffield has to now change their whole approach. They've got to go out and they've got to score goals if they want to get back into this game. They can't sit back. They've got no one forcing the issue. I mean, Stephen Cooper's out of the lineup for Cardiff, and you'd never know it because they simply are not putting any pressure on the Cardiff defense.
Well, we'll certainly look forward to lots of good action still to come. The whole of the second and the third period live as they happen here on Sky Sports in Cardiff. But right now, let's update you with all the highlights of the action in that first period.
Penalty killing will do them more harm than good, as it were. They're managing to keep the goals down until Doug McEwen came through.
McEwen went through on his own, and the gentle touch between the pads makes it 1-0. Big solo effort by Dougie McEwen. How many times have we seen him do this up and down the country?
Sheffield Steelers, as they killed the 3-on-5 penalty, were struggling with the permutations of getting which British players out on the ice. They just got back to 4 men when Doug McEwen stole through and slipped it through the 5-hole to open the scoring and stretch the lead for the Cardiff Devils.
Townsend, as Dumas, Townsend is stopped in his tracks. In the second attempt, he gives it to Chin. Scores! Oh, goaltender banged on that one, I'm afraid. Chin, no steam on the shot. Laid it along the ice. That's number 2.
Cardiff Devils benefiting from super passing, and the Sheffield Steelers concentrating on taking the body and not worrying about the play, or bothering about the play, I should say, and it cost them dearly. Mike O'Connor here has a big go at Richard Townsend, throws a bit of a cheap shot from behind on him. The puck goes across, and the Devils benefit in the best way. Chin the scorer.
Tries to hang on to it. O'Connor lets the shot go, took a deflection. Still not out of the zone. A one-timer. Cranston goes to the far side. So easy for Plummer. Power play goal. Plummer left on the far side of the net. Cranston doing a lot of work in there to keep the puck in the zone.
Sheffield have been getting shots on net, and finally a shot from Cranston squirts out to Plummer. It's fired through by Wilson, and Cranston on net. It was a kick pad save by Jason Wood, but Tommy Plummer swept up the garbage. Sweet as you like for Sheffield, they're on the board.
3:37 remaining in the first period. Comes all the way back to McEwen. McEwen lets the shot go. Great save. Rebound. Score! Dumas. Big save by Mackay. But he couldn't get the second one.
A 4-on-3 power play goal for the Cardiff Devils. Claude Dumas, second in the all-time scoring list in Britain, bounces on the rebound. McEwen makes space for his shot. Nice shot, pad save by Mackay. Couldn't hang on to it. The rebound there, and Dumas buries it.
McEwen feeds it through. Another quick break. Chin puts it up front. Little tip, another goal! Oh, who could it be but Claude Dumas?
Well, Mike, looking at that action, in fact, Cardiff did themselves a favour just at the end there, because at one stage it looked as if they might be caught, and a couple of late scores made their score at the interval very comfortable.
Yeah, one thing, looking at some of the highlights there, I really noticed that the Sheffield defense, you know, you got to blame the forwards a bit. The Sheffield forwards aren't really forcing the issue down low. But again, there was quite a few mistakes. The Sheffield defense are not playing the body tonight. I don't know what it is. They're letting guys step around them, make the easy move, rather than punishing them and making them pay for it. They've got a big, strong defense, Sheffield, but at times they get flat-footed, and that's maybe one of Sheffield's weaknesses. They have a very good hockey club. They have a lot of depth, but one thing is they have some very slow defensemen, and Cardiff are exposing them tonight. That's
excellent.
for sure.
So how briefly are they going to tackle this second period then, Sheffield?
If I'm in the dressing room with Sheffield, I say let's go after them. We got nothing to lose. Let's throw the puck in. Let's get in. Let's throw some bodies. Let's get in front of the net. Screen Wood. Get in front of the goal. Let's really make things tough on them.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Second period coming up live in just a couple of minutes from now. We'll see you after the break. Welcome back to Cardiff then. It's the second leg of this first semi-final in the Benson Hedges Cup between the Cardiff Devils and the Sheffield Steelers. A very good scoreline for Cardiff. It's 4-1 at the moment as we are just about to start this second session here. Commentary comes from Gary Moran and Paul Ferguson.
Referee Ken Taggart gets the teams together. The Devils, playing from left to right, have a new goaltender. Stevie Lyle, the 14-year-old sensation who did so well in the European Cup, is out there. He started playing hockey when he was 7 years old, so he's in his 7th season, but he's still only a teenager. At 14, a lot of years of hockey in front of him. I've seen this guy, and he's spectacular. O'Connor knows what he has to do out there, and he really has to motivate this Sheffield Steeler team. O'Connor has been around a long time. If anyone can do it, he can do it. They're going to test this youngster right from the face-off. The long shot from way outside the blue line is cleared away with confidence by the young goaltender. A giveaway pass there, McEwen. You can see 3 Sheffield Steelers are forward. They need to get forward. They need to get the shots. Cooper is robbed by O'Connor. Good pass up. Handy couldn't control that. Nemeth was waiting for the pass. Lawless is with Ruggles. The shot goes in. Ruggles goes in after it. Loose puck is there. Cooper tries to put it in the back of the net. Steelers getting back in numbers here. But the numbers they want to change are the ones on the scoreboard. Handy lines up and takes a shot. Not very convincing at all as McEwen got in front of that. Lawless is brought down. Taggart says, play on. McEwen tried to grab that. Nemeth couldn't get it. Lawless got in on Nemeth and almost submarined him there to take him out of the play. McEwen to Cooper. Cooper at the red line. Long shot way upstairs. Wicked bounce out front. And Mackay is quick to pounce on that. And let's take a look now at the Cardiff Devils lineup. Missing, if you're a Devils fan, are Paul Heavey, Stephen Cooper, and James Manson. 3 excellent defensemen. They're going with Lyle now between the pipes, but McEwen has done such a good job of playing two-way hockey, back on defense and up front. The guy's scoring goals, and he's also preventing them. Bounces all the way back to Jason Stone, a forward who's moved back onto the D to help out with that shortage of defensemen for the Devils. Cranston cruises back behind his net, picks it up. Cranston lays it off in front, and here come the Steelers. The Steelers now coming up quickly. Kellen tries to get it out front. Stone was on him. Dumas goes way back behind the red line to help out with the defensive play. You can see the commitment from these guys. They're getting way back. The shot well wide of the target as the Steelers are found to be in the crease. Taggart quick to spot that and brings the face-off outside the zone. The Sheffield Steelers have a wealth of talent, but they're not stringing them together. Martin Mackay, a Great Britain goaltender, has been in this one since the beginning. Cranston also on the British team. Scott Neal, an excellent player who played a lot of his hockey in Murrayfield. Some great Canadians on this team with Nemeth and Handy, but as I said, they're not getting the goals. They're not getting the good shots on goal. What do they do here in the second period? They need to come back strong. Abel, who played a lot of his hockey in Scotland, gets it out of the zone, but it's brought right back in. Abel fans on it, right in front. Dumas! Mackay watches that one go at the third attempt behind the cage, and the Steelers are lucky to get away with that one. Coming back on the attack. Plummer goes in, slides it right in there. Lyle got a pad to it. Chin tried to feed that over. Cranston is there. Cranston taken out along the boards, right out front. That's nice. Billy is robbed by the young goaltender. Brilliant stuff. And the crowd love this local kid here in Cardiff. Abel takes the shot. No steam on it. Abel gets back in a hurry as Townsend goes after him. Dumas, room to move, hits the post. Excellent power shot, and Mackay was beaten, but the post helped him out on that one.
GB current goalkeeper Martin Mackay at one end, but it's the youngster, the star for the future, Stephen Lyle, that's got the fans on their feet here at the Welsh National Ice Rink. Mackay is 25 years old, 11 years older than his opposite number at the moment down at the other end of the ice. Youngster Stevie Lyle, obviously still a schoolboy, and he'll be back at lessons tomorrow morning after thrilling the crowd here. But he's a great stand-up goalie. The Steelers have tested in close range and they've tested in long range, and he just stands there and kicks them out.
Keating in the face-off circle up against Shudra, and the official says Keating get out, Francis get in. Keating gets the draw. It worked well for them, but the clearance goes beyond McEwen all the way down the ice. No icing on the plate. Perry Doyle out there for the first time roughs it up with McEwen, and again McEwen against big Perry Doyle comes off best. Doyle has to put his head on after that high elbow by McEwen. He really did take a blast. Doyle's a big guy, but McEwen can throw his weight around to Francis. Clips it into the far corner. Shudra gets a high stick on it. It's the third line out there for the Devils. This is the checking line, the kid line, and they're doing what they have to do, checking and keeping the Steelers away from the Devils' net.
It's a measure of how much in control the Devils have been tonight, as they were last night, that line is out on the ice for them. Their third line, their key personnel. We've had this is Michael Connor coming in for the Steelers with the big blast. Does it phase the 14-year-old? Not likely. He just lets the pad deal with it, and the rebound goes a long way out.
Hope gets a shot right on the pads. The rebound comes out. That goes upstairs as Cooper got the lumber to that. McEwen back at the red line. Flips it through. That took a deflection. Mackay with a lot of time back there with a 3-on-1 situation. A lot of Steelers around, but he elects to hang on to it and force the face-off deep in his own zone. 4-1 the score here in the second period. McEwen, Chin, Dumas with two. Those are the players that did the damage for the Devils. Plummer has been the only player for Sheffield to get a goal. Alex Dampier looks concerned, and so he should be. In the first game, the Steelers couldn't put a puck in the ocean, and the same thing seems to be happening here. Icing is the call.
The Steelers have certainly calmed down their physical approach. Going in the bin in the first period cost them. They had 16 minutes in penalties. Cardiff had taken 18, but it always seemed that the Steelers went in on dumb penalties first period. They had a man advantage, and they ended up sometimes not only even strength, sometimes a disadvantage. Two guys go at the box.
Wallace somehow got that back. Hope flips it high. Shooter is there with the glove hand. Scott Neal gives it right to Cooper, who bangs it back into the corner. Wallace tries to drop it along the boards. Shooter got it out to the top of the circle now. Cooper loses control as Kellen went after that to the far side of the ring. Scott Neal has Handy at center. Neal winds up. His shot is deflected. Nemeth goes in. McEwen is there, double teaming again as Shudra picks it up, gives it away. Excellent play by Cooper to tie up Shudra. That leaves Ruggles on the right. Ruggles hangs on to that puck. Lawless tries to get it through, and again Mackay feeds it right to a Cardiff Devil. Cooper takes the shot along the ice. The save is there by Martin Mackay. Mackay is clearing that pass out of the zone, but he has a tendency to give it right to the Devils when he does. Nemeth lets a one-timer go, and that went upstairs. Bounces out nicely for Cooper, who finds Ruggles. Ruggles with a lot of space, leaves it in the circle. That bounces nicely to McEwen. McEwen finds Lawless. Good communication out there, and O'Connor brings down Cooper, or Lawless rather, as Cooper hangs on to the puck. Delayed penalty. The goaltender comes off the ice for Cardiff. As soon as the Steelers touch the puck, the whistle will blow. Delayed penalty as Chin goes into the corner. Now the whistle will blow. Taggart looks around to see if he can find the man he wants to sit in the penalty box. O'Connor sits for 2 for holding.
Well, it was a blatant penalty, wasn't it? And it came in the middle of a spell in which the Steelers were at least holding their own against the Devils, but he puts his hand on Johnny Lawless's shoulder and yanks him back down onto the ice, and deservedly goes to the box.
14-16 remaining on the second period. 4-1 the score. Power play situation now for the Devils as Stone delays the face-off by getting rid of some tape on a stick at the penalty box. Cranston unable to hang on to that. Townsend gives it away, but Carson is there. The youngster's out on the ice for the Devils. Nice to see that Lawless has that much confidence in them. Here comes Cranston. Off the side of the cage. Millie was there. Cranston working with Millie on the far side of the rink. And the Devils take control, flip it up on the right side. Hammered away all the way down the ice. 1 minute, 29 seconds on the Mike O'Connor penalty. Chin gets around one man on the far side of the rink. Nicky Chin breaks into the slot area. He's allowed to go within about 15 feet of the goal, and the Steelers are going to have to take these guys out a lot sooner than that. The wrist shot comes in. Mackay is there, pounces on it. Jason Stone let that go. No steam on it, but Mackay had to make a second attempt.
The Steelers look as though they're trying to slow everything down. Obviously they would while they're trying to kill a penalty. This shot comes all the way in. Mackay goes down on it. There's the rebound and scrambles forward, covers up, and then immediately takes the blocker off to fiddle with his pad just to slow things down a little bit. Good work by Nicky Chin out there with all the Cardiff youngsters, and then it was Stone who fired it in from a long way out. It was a bouncing puck that Mackay finally smothered to get the whistle.
1 minute, 10 seconds on the Devils power play here in the period. Hope lets a rocket go low, just wide of the target. Bounces out to the blue line, kept in down past the hash marks now by the Devils. The Steelers looking to get this puck out of the zone as eventually it's flipped down to Stevie Lyle. Hope with a lot of time. Waits for Ruggles and Lawless to break. Lawless looking sharper. Who knows? He may stay out of retirement. Kellen unable to control that, but the Devils found themselves offside as Ruggles has to go deep. Ruggles. No one in the Devils' side of the rink to stop Ruggles from coming forward. The Devils have a lot of room out there. Nemeth was waiting for that to come his way. The shot comes in. Cooper saw that one bounce off the skates. Long clearance. Goes all the way down and ends up on the back of the netting. Face off with just 15 seconds on Mike O'Connor's penalty.
I know they've been killing a penalty, the Sheffield Steelers, for the last couple of minutes, but when was the last time they had a shot on Stevie Lime? Took over in nets at the start of this period. They've had a couple of long bombs on him, one close-range effort, and they haven't had any close-range shots on target throughout this time, neither yesterday nor today. They got some good shots away first period, but they weren't quality shots in the corners and what have you. They were from quite a long way out. They weren't getting in close to the net.
Lee Carson Long pass into center to Townsend. Townsend was taken out by Kellen. And Rob Wilson collects. Wilson drops it back. Kellen behind his own goal. O'Connor steps on the ice and immediately goes to the bench. The Steelers are back at full strength. The Steelers now need to get shots. They need to get goals. They trail by 6 in this competition. 6-3 the first night, 4-1 right now. Shot from a sharp angle. Plummer letting that go. Why not? It doesn't matter where you shoot from as long as you shoot.
And wouldn't they have liked it to have gone past the 14-year-old schoolboy? But Tommy Plummer, who had his bell rung last night when he was absolutely level, from a very sharp angle, as you say. But they can go in from there, but not this time against Stevie Lyle.
Cranston and Dumas discuss the tactics of taking a face-off. Chin, the high slot, gets it over on the wing to Townsend. Townsend and O'Connor tie each other up as Millie picks up the puck and throws it behind his own net. Millie deep in the corner. Leaves it for O'Connor. Chin doing some good forechecking up there. Millie has to come back as that bounced in off an official. We have a whistle on the plate, and so we'll do it all over again.
Good call from linesman Minto there. He was at fault because the puck hit his skate and went back in, but it hadn't come out. Billy was complaining, Mickey Chin was complaining, they were all complaining, but it did hit the linesman's skate and bounce back into the end zone, and that was a good call.
Face-off just outside the zone. As Keating tried to grab that, didn't work, and the Steelers now coming up with O'Connor. O'Connor bounces that off McEwen's stick. Francis picks it up. Francis racing down the right side and chased by Wilson, and the net has just been knocked off its moorings as Smith picks himself up and gets back into play.
Even with the third line on here, and this is Francis going down for the Devils, and one of the posse as they're called, and the puck flips up and onto the area, and Peter Smith goes down. Even this line, they know where their teammates are, they know where their line mates are, they don't have to look for it. The Steelers have had the feeling throughout this one that they have to look to see where their teammates are.
The understanding wasn't there last night, and it's not here tonight. We still have a long way to go. Nemeth with 11 minutes and 2 seconds remaining on the period. Nemeth behind the net. Hope beats him to it and gets it all the way out. O'Connor throws it right back in. McEwen takes a swipe at it. Scott Neal. Nemeth is out front. Handy gives it to him. A close-in shot. Batted away by Lyle. McEwen being tied up by Nemeth. Francis on the wing at the hash marks. Gets that right through. Smith picks it up, and it's a two-line pass. The pass originated on the Devils' side of the blue and was picked up on the Steelers' side of the red. That's a two-line pass, and that cancels that attack.
The rules of ice hockey designed to make the teams play the puck up the ice and try to make it competitive and pretty to watch and action-packed for us, and not just bat the puck up and down the ice.
Well, there's a lot of talk about removing that red line so whistles like that won't occur. In American college hockey, they don't have a red line, and it really does open the game right up. You can have passes right up to the opposition's blue line, so you can imagine what that creates and how many nightmares it creates for defense. The steal here. Big Ron going in, shoots. Oh, another big save. Shudra put it upstairs as he stole the puck at the last moment, and this young goaltender comes up with another fine save. Abel tried to play that with his skate, could have kept it in the zone, but he didn't. Kellen has to go deep. 10 minutes now remaining on the period, so we're midway through this game. Mackay leaves it for Kellen. Kellen up on the wing. His pass isn't a good one. Wright eventually gets to it. Shudra goes in against Hope. Two big defensemen. This time Shudra is playing up at center. Wright tries to kick it along, but Lawless is there to tie him up.
You know, the biggest danger for this 14-year-old netminder is that he'll get bored with it. He's so good in this one since he came in. He had a great European Cup for the Cardiff Devils. He's had a couple of dodgy periods along the way, but they're feeding him in here. Ron Shudra, ex-NHL player, played with Gretzky in Edmonton, comes, chooses to go high, and Lyle gets a piece of it and tips it wide. Super goaltender, and he stands up so much. I think they put splints behind those pads to keep him up there.
Face-off in Devils territory. That comes back to the blue. The shot comes in, trickles along the ice, doesn't make it to the goal. Cranston trying to get that away from Stone. Stone wins that battle, but Cranston throws his weight around on the far side of the rink. Plummer against Carson. Cranston is positioned out front, waiting for the puck to come. Cranston picks it up. Can he turn around to get the shot away? Carson goes after him. Carson, the young defender, lost his stick. Cranston, good move, gives the puck a shot. Lyle makes the save. Penalty coming up for tripping. Taggart whistles down the play, but how about Carson and Cranston? These two going at each other as Dumas makes his way to the penalty box. Cranston never say die out there. Carson staying all over him, lost his stick. At the other end of the rink, we saw the Steelers, or rather the Devils, get a penalty with Shannon Hope holding his man when he lost his stick, but Carson got away with it there. So a power play situation now for the Steelers. O'Connor having problems with Ruggles. Tipped in by Nemeth. Nemeth moves in behind the net, waiting for the pass. Wilson taps it back, and Nemeth is there. Neal has Handy out front. O'Connor back at the blue. Nemeth waiting for something to happen. There isn't a lot of movement out there. The Steelers are flat-footed. Moving in now. The one-timer from Wilson misses the net by a few inches, but the idea was right. The far defenseman circling back at the blue tries to get in. O'Connor with a chance to shoot. He does! Lyle got a piece of that. Still not out of the way as Lyle gets back in his cage. Wilson moves right in front, but the pass was up in the air. Chin got a piece of it. Flipped in behind the goal. A lot of action around this net as Scott Neal moves in with the Devils shooting it all the way down the ice. 1 minute on the power play. This is better stuff from the Steelers.
Great goaltending again, though, by the youngster, and his older teammates are so happy with him behind him.
The shot, Nemeth was there, and again Lyle comes up big. Well, you have to say that Jason Wood played some good hockey in the first 20 minutes of this hockey game, but Jason Wood did look a bit shaky on several plays out there. He was looking around when he shouldn't have known he had the puck. But this youngster has come in and given this Cardiff team a lot more confidence than they had in the first period, and boy, that's a lot of confidence.
I asked people that know him how he's reacted to all the publicity he's had since he starred in 3 games in a row in the European Cup, and they said it's like water off a duck's back. It just doesn't bother him.
Well, you know, when he was over in Holland, he played so well that John Lawless, the coach, wanted to buy young 14-year-old Stevie Lyle a present. But Toys R Us was closed on that night, and they had to wait until they came back to Cardiff. But he is just something exceptional, and I hope he continues to play this game because he's going to do a lot of good for youngsters in the country. Shot deflects away. Cooper is back there from the side of the net. Cranston looking. Is it in the net? Lawless says it's not. Lyle says, hey, I've had it. The light didn't come on. Taggart goes back and talks to the goal judge. No goal. Let's look at this again.
Cranston was convinced when he pulled this one from behind that it went over the line, but Stevie Lyle's got the short side covered, and it's there. No one can see that puck's over the line. He did the right thing, whether the puck's over the line or not. No one was going to see it.
The red light behind the goal didn't go on. The officials were fairly confident it wasn't a goal. No goals in this period, still 4-1. Dumas steps back on the ice, big shot, rebound, Lyle, save. Cranston again, knocking on the door. The Devils are back at full strength, but the Steelers almost popped one just as Dumas stepped on the ice.
Cranston can't believe his luck against the youngster. Stephen Lyle's going to get bored with this. He's got to get bored with this. I mean, it's ex-certificate stuff for the Sheffield Steelers. They can't find a way past the youngster. We could only go to see a certificate 12 movie because he's not yet 15.
The face-off that comes through the circle. Still a 4-1 game out there with a little under 7 minutes remaining on this period. McEwen grabs that, this shot is a weak one, and Martin Mackay at this end of the rink has not seen a lot of rubber in this period. It's all been the other way. But that's a shot and a score. Ruggles to Cooper, so easy. Cooper unmolested in front, right on the crease, taps it in. That's number 5.
All the pressure was at the other end, and then Ruggles brought it forward and fed his teammate Ian Cooper, and the home fans who've been cheering their netminder for the last few minutes now have a goal to celebrate at the other end. Doug McEwen, who's been the quarterback in a lot of plays in this match throughout both nights, sets it up, gets it to Ruggles, Ruggles to Cooper, Cooper into the net. This is McEwen in the corner, across to Ruggles, and the simplest of jobs for Ian Cooper.
Dumas, the wrist shot, trickles wide of the target as Wilson got in front of that. Flip to the far side, a 5-1 scoreline out there with 6:38 remaining on the period. And that will hurt the Steelers. The action was going their way. They were getting the shots on goal, albeit the goaltender was coming up big. They still had the momentum. And then all of a sudden the Devils pick it up, get one shot on goal and make the goal. And that's going to hurt them. Dumas has chin out front. Well with Townsend. Here comes Carson. Carson along the ice. They have Mackay's number. They're keeping these shots low. It's a 2-on-1 break now. Handy has Neal. Shot. Pops over to the far side of the rink. Neal goes after it. Carson is there. O'Connor puts it over the red line, and Stone tries to get it out, and he does. High pass for Chin. Nicely given to Dumas. Eluded Dumas, and O'Connor got it away. Dumas to Townsend. Townsend gets a big hit from O'Connor from behind. No penalty on the play, and Townsend goes for a well-deserved break as the Steelers come up at the blue line. Wright tried to move that over the blue. Stone doubles back. Stone hangs on to the stick. That's got to be a penalty. Taggart doesn't see that. I don't know how he missed it. I think everybody in the rink saw it. Stone hanging on to that hockey stick out there. Now we have a penalty. Steelers with a man in the box. Slashing is the call.
A 2-minute penalty to the Steelers, which gives the Cardiff Devils yet another power play opportunity. Mark Wright has got the penalty for slashing, and that was in retaliation to the stick-holding incident we were talking about moments before, perhaps. But the referee's the man in charge. He's the one that makes the decisions.
Face-off just outside of the Devils' zone. Francis gives that a tap. Keating moves in there. Smith tries to grab it as Kellen gets it back to Shudra. Francis goes in. Some good skating and forechecking as Shudra moves around the net. Francis stays with him. The crowd love this. Kellen, nice stuff from him as he gives it to Cranston, who gets it back to Shudra. Millie on the far side of the rink hasn't touched the puck yet as the Steelers hang on to it and kill off this 2-minute penalty. 1:25. Kellen lets a shot go. Big shot, just missed that top corner. Millie just slides it back into the zone to waste a few more seconds. 1:15 now remaining on the power play. McEwen picks up ahead of steam. McEwen cuts over to his left. Cooper has it at the high slot, gives it back to Hope on the right side. Cooper shot low, rebound. Mackay comes up big on Lawless. Lawless was cruising, it came his way, but Mackay had something to say about that.
Johnny Lawless having something to say to Martin Mackay about coming up big on the big stage. The Sheffield fans down in the corner near Martin Mackay. Thrilled moments ago by the showboating of Ron Shudra as he killed off the penalty. Thrilled even more by that big save from Martin Mackay.
Alex Dampier must be concerned. He's running out of time. 58 seconds on the Devils power play. 3:57 remaining on the period. And it's 5-1. 3-goal lead after the first game. 4-goal lead now. 7 in it. It's a tough assignment for the Steelers. O'Connor loses out to McEwen. Nemeth, big shot, scores! Found the hole. Nemeth teaming up with O'Connor. O'Connor out of position up there on the left wing, picks up a short-handed goal.
Nemeth pounces on it after O'Connor helped McEwen to make a rare mistake. McEwen's had a cracking game, but he doesn't get enough wood on this one, and O'Connor half fumbles it away from him. Then McEwen really flubs, and it's Nemeth, Storming Steve Nemeth, as they call him in Sheffield, who pounces and drills one through the 5-hole. And for once, Stevie Lyle is beaten. The Steelers get on the board. Nemeth comes through and fires it from the circle.
5-2 the score now with 3:34 remaining. Ruggles tried to grab that from Neal. It didn't work. Cranston doing a lot of good stuff in Devils territory. The Steelers seem to be playing better short-handed out there than when they play with a full strength. 6 seconds on the power play. Ruggles picks it up after Mackay got in front of that. Wright steps back on the ice. That shot all the way down the ice. Lyle gets it away from Wright. McEwen is there. McEwen being chased by Wright, and Wright gets the paw out and puts a grab on him. McEwen elects to dump that all the way down the ice. The Steelers, will they gain heart from that goal by Nemeth? Really big shot on the goal. Really goes in for the rebound, but can't get it in the corner. Chin got the pass over. Tapped down by O'Connor, and that's a goaltender's nightmare. O'Connor trying to do the right thing by stopping that from going beyond the goal, almost put it into the goal.
Mark Mackay looks up and says, "Thanks, mate." As if he hasn't had enough trouble with the shots from the Devils.
That puck changes direction just a few feet in front of you, and you're not expecting it. Boy, it can make you look rather foolish. 2:22 on the period. Nemeth, nice little layup as he gets a return pass from Handy. Nemeth takes the shot, and that went off of the skate. Jason Stone, Nemeth in the corner. This guy's trying to show his stuff out there. Shot, and the shooter got a piece of that. Put in front. Illy takes the shot from a sharp angle. Stone whistles that around the boards, but Shooter is there to pick it up. Now the Steelers are playing some real good hockey out there as they throw the puck around deep in Cardiff territory. Illy tries to get it back. Scott Neal has Shooter back at the blue line along with Kellen. Loose puck. Stone can't get it out. The second attempt, the youngsters for Cardiff get it out over the blue line, but it's given right back to the Steelers. Kellen moves quickly on the left side. Kellen tries to flip it in the corner. The Steelers would love to pick up another one before the end of this period. 1:26 remaining. From the side of the net. Loose puck in front, grabbed by Dumas. Dumas takes a lot of time on that puck. Eventually it comes out. Kellen gets it right up to Millie. Millie having problems with Townsend. Dumas is cruising. Nemeth wanted the puck this way, but Shooter grabs that and loses out to Dumas. Final minute of play as Kellen got over there in a hurry to break that one up. Chin steps on the ice. Chin will want to keep the puck deep in Steelers territory as the seconds tick down in this second period. 48 seconds now remaining. The Steelers working quickly down the right side. A 2-on-2 situation. Scott Neal in front, spun around with Carson on his back. And Dumas along the boards takes a hit from Neal. Chin with just a few seconds remaining now. Throws it in deep. Ruggles pops it back in, and Shudra ties it up for a minute. And we have a whistle on the play.
Alex Dampier of the Sheffield Steelers and Clyde Toole, the coach, have switched just one player at the moment. Neal's dropped onto the second line. Millie's moved up to the first line. The Millie, Plummer, Cranston line scored 30 goals and more in the cup so far, and they've been unproductive in this match so far. Perhaps that one little change is all that's needed to try and get the momentum back the Steelers' way. But Millie and Neal have definitely swapped lines at the moment.
18 seconds on the period. 5-2 the scoreline with the Devils in the lead. Giveaway there by Plummer as Plummer A big hit on Cooper. Plummer getting his own back to that big hit last night that was laid on him by McEwen. A chance now with a shot wide of the target. Back to Wilson. Wilson running out of time. There goes the buzzer to end the second period. A goal apiece. Cooper picked up a goal on a nice pass by Ruggles. And Nemeth came back with a short-handed number for the Sheffield Steelers to make it 5-2. But this guy came up big on several occasions for the Devils, putting in a fine performance on Nemeth and in on Shudra. The man of the period, or the boy of the period. That's the way it stands after 40 minutes of hockey, 5-2. We have 20 minutes of live action to go. We'll be right back after this break.
Welcome back to Cardiff, and it's certainly been one hell of a performance by the Devils so far, and really you have to say that the Sheffield Steelers will not be enjoying what's happened so far. We can now catch up with the thoughts of their manager, Alex Dampier. He's now down alongside the ice talking to Chris Bowers.
Alex, 7 goals to win, 6 to level it. Is it too much?
Well, you know, British ice hockey, anything happens. We were in Humberside, we were down 8-2 and drew 8-8, and that's basically why we're here. You know, I would never say we're defeated, but you know, it's a big task here in Cardiff. They're a good club.
Where are you losing it tonight?
Well, I think the penalty box situation. We've run up against some good goaltending. We've had some good chances, just can't seem to finish off. But you know, in saying that, Cardiff are they're playing good, solid defensive game, and for some reason we've got a mental block here with Cardiff last night and tonight, and we're just struggling. We just can't seem to get our team play together at all.
Do you think it was critical that you couldn't take advantage of the 2-man advantage you had in the first period?
Oh, certainly. I mean, you get a situation like that, you've got to vary your chances. You know, we could have got back on even terms with them or even gone ahead. You get those chances once a game, and if you don't do something with it, well, it's your own fault.
If you get to the stage where you're still 6 down with 10 to go, will the players just be playing for pride?
Well, I think, you know, that's the whole situation from last night. You're 3 goals down coming into Cardiff, and your main objective is to come here and win. Whether you win by enough goals is another question. But you know, first of all, we've got to win and break that idea that we can beat Cardiff in this rink.
Thanks, Alex. Over to you, David.
Thanks, Chris, very much indeed. Well, with me up here in the box alongside the rink is Mike Blaisdell of the Nottingham Panthers, the player coach for them. Mike, we said, didn't we, that we expected Sheffield really to do more in that second period. They haven't done it. They've only scored the 1, and of course Cardiff have got 1, so nothing's changed.
No, nothing. You know, nothing's changed, and I think now it's time for the Steelers to maybe have a rethink on maybe their forward combinations. I would say their best forwards tonight have been Nemeth and probably Cranston and Plummer. I would get those guys playing together on a line and maybe put Handy with Shudra up front. They've got to get more. They've got to direct their offense more. They've got to get something happening. They tested the kid Lyle, who really did play quite well on only a few occasions, but they've got that young goaltender in the net for Cardiff. They've got to try to expose him somehow.
Yes, he's playing really well, isn't he, young Lyle, Stevie Lyle?
Well, you know, I really see now how he did so well in Europe. We heard so much about him, but no one, I don't think, in this country has really seen him play, and this is a chance for a lot of people in the country to see him, and he's made some outstanding saves. He's not a big kid, but he's very quick.
Let's just have a quick look at the 2 goals in that second period, and we'll run them now. Just talk us through this.
Okay, Dougie McEwen looks like he's out muscling someone down low. He makes the pass quick to Ruggles, who Hilton Ruggles has such a quick release, the goalie had no chance. And then I think we're going to show the Sheffield goal here. Oh no, it's the same goal. Same goal.
A different angle.
McEwen makes a great pass across, but Ruggles gets it away so quickly that Mackay doesn't have time to set up really, but it's banks it off the post.
And the irony there was that it came after a really intensive spell at the other end, didn't it?
Well, I think Sheffield had they carried most of the play for about 5 minutes in a row there, and then Cardiff, they have that ability to score goals. They're very dangerous, and they just went right back and scored, and that was another nail in the coffin for Sheffield,
yeah.
I think.
We said Lyle did really well, but there was nothing he could do, was there, about the Sheffield score?
No, Steve Nemeth's got probably one of the hardest shots in the league, and he's allowed to walk right in here. I think that the puck comes in off the boards, I believe, here. Nemeth picks it up early, or McEwen gives it away a bit. Nemeth walks in, and he's got a cracking good shot, and he just hammers it. No chance for the goalie. I think it went through his legs, but, you know, the kid looks confident there. That's what I'm impressed with. He doesn't seem to get rattled. This goal might have shook his confidence a bit, but it doesn't seem to have. He just seemed to bang the post and get right back into it. And, you know, that's a heck of a shot. No one's going to stop that puck.
No, and he won't allow that to drag him down, because he made 3 or 4 really excellent saves, didn't he?
Exactly. I'm impressed with his confidence. He's in there smiling, and the players are tapping him on the pads. He's enjoying himself. He's certainly not nervous.
Mike, thanks for that. The third period coming up in just a couple of moments. Stay with us. Well, it may not be Halloween night itself, but certainly everyone here in Cardiff enjoying themselves, dressing up and really getting into the spirit of the thing. I could just remind you that the score at the moment is Cardiff Devils 5, Sheffield Steelers 2, and remember they have a 6-3 aggregate improvement from last night, of course, when they went to Sheffield 1, so really things looking pretty good overall for Cardiff. And I would say, Mike, if we could just bring you back briefly, we were talking about young Stevie Lyle, the Cardiff netminder. He really impressed everyone here, I think, with how cool he was. I mean, for a 14-year-old, he's so calm.
Well, I think I was a little surprised that John Lawless put him in to start the second period. I thought perhaps that he was being a little overconfident in the kid, but now when I see things that he's doing like this, they're going to test him long. They're going to try to test him long. But now the kid, here comes Nemeth in, one of the top scorers in the league, gets the shot. Now he's so quick to cover up, and you know, there's the rebound. A lot of goalies wouldn't have got to that puck so quickly.
Yeah,
but here's a mistake by Dougie McEwen, which they should try to expose a little more, because he's not a defenseman. But Shudra walks right in, and he's going to pick the top-end corner to the glove side, but bang, there's the glove.
Yeah.
So quick, and all he got was a piece of it, but that's all you need, and he steers it away from the net.
And you've really got just a split second to make that move when you're a netminder, haven't you?
Well, he's probably really is the quickest goalie in the country right now. He's just not that big. That's maybe his one weakness, is he doesn't cover a lot of net. But hopefully he'll grow for Cardiff's sake, and he'll be one heck of a netminder. I'd like to have him in our playing in my system right now.
We'll talk to you about your team and your match next week at the end of this particular session, but right now it is time for the third session. Let's join Gary Moran and Paul Ferguson once more.
Third and final period, time running out for the Sheffield Steelers. 5-2 the score. They have 20 minutes of hockey left. Playing from left to right, Cranston for Sheffield gets it back to Shudra. Shudra has played some good defensive hockey. He's played up front at center. He really gets himself around the rink, but he can't do it on his own. He needs a lot of help out there. That's tipped away over the line, and the big defenseman Hope goes back and feeds it into neutral ice territory. Lawless races down the right side, and the Steelers now need a quick goal with Millie along the boards. Millie taps it into neutral ice territory to the far side. Kellen almost gives that to Ruggles. Millie on the wing. This is nice. Cranston now drops it back for Millie. Millie hits the blue line, working up. Hope stays on him with the hook and clears it all the way down the ice. Shudra, with both teams getting a line change out there, flips it up in front of his own bench. His chin brings his man down. A chance now. The shot right on the target. Lyle got a piece of that. The rebound came bouncing back in, with Handy getting a piece of the stick on the rubber. Nemeth in the corner. Nemeth trying to keep it in the zone. Ruggles wanted that, but Chin got it at center ice. A high shot. Goaltender lost it completely. Defenseman O'Connor had to tell him it was in the corner. Deflections difficult to see in this rink as they go up and get lost in the meshing. Clearance all the way down to Mike O'Connor. Townsend stays on him. O'Connor finds Neal up on the wing. Neal over the red line. Lines up. His shot is blocked by Jason Stone. Stone doing a good job on defense. This guy's a forward. He's dropped back to help out. Big hit on the far side by Chin. And the Steelers need to get shots. Neal lets that one ride all the way down the ice. Icing is the call, and it gives me an opportunity here to say a big hello to Brendan Rawerda. I apologize for my Welsh pronunciation of his last name, but he's watching here on Sky. He's a big Cardiff Devil fan, and he hasn't had the opportunity to make it tonight for a very good reason. He's got leukemia, and he's just had a bone marrow transplant. Brendan, we wish you all the luck in the world. Come back and see us soon. He's a big fan of the Devils, and I know the Devils will miss him when he's away in hospital, so get well soon. Cleared all the way in, and the Steelers Bring it out slowly. Slid through to Millie. Millie can't find his man on the wing. Cranston was breaking right in front of him. 2.5 minutes. A wrap round here, right in front. Millie was brought down as Cranston did a lot of work. Cranston gets back in neutralized territory, hits the red and fires it in. Lyle leaves it for McEwen. McEwen, long pass up on the wing. Cooper up against Wilson. The two square off along the boards. 50-50 battle there. Giveaway almost resulted in a goal with Ruggles left alone. Right in front, Wallace. Wallace again. Mackay couldn't grab it. Failed on the glove hand, but Millie breaks down the ice now. Millie with a chance to shoot is spun around. Cranston has the puck. Lays it off right in front. Plummer was tied up by Shannon Hope. And the Steelers still unable to get the shots on goal in this period, or third period rather. McEwen, his shot is deflected away. O'Connor has a go at him. The fans don't like that. But back comes Kellen. Kellen with room to move on the target. Save is there. Kellen still has the puck right out front. Scott Neal let a weak shot go, but Lyle was equal to it. Deflection over the boards.
Steelers have got their lines back together again. The first line of the two imports and Scott Neal, Great Britain international together, but they just can't find a way past the Devils' defence. And the Devils again making sure they've got a spare man in front of the net, whether it's Lyle or Wood in goal. They come through. Here's the long-range effort from Chris Kellen. Lyle deflects that one away. Kellen then fed it out front. There was a short-range shot, but there were Devils there to help Lyle mop up.
Handy is kicked out of the face-off circle. Nemeth puts it through, gets it back to Handy. Scott Neal waiting out front as Stone takes a hit from Nemeth. But the French-Canadian Dumas got it out of the zone. Chin is there. Townsend slams on the brakes and makes an intelligent pass back to Dumas. Up to Chin. Chin back to Dumas. This is nice stuff. The shot weak and wide. Nemeth has room to move. This guy can motor. Good pass by Nemeth. Comes over to Neal. Neal with a lot of space. Lets the shot. Scores! That was very nice indeed. Scott Neal cruising down on the right side with the slap shot. The Flying Scotsman makes it 3 for Sheffield.
And it's tipped the defenseman Carson by Nemeth. Then it's held right across to the right wing. Scott Neal. Scott Neal looks up. Will he make the pass? No, he takes the shot. Bottom corner. And the 14-year-old is beaten for only the second time. This is Scott Neal, former Great Britain international, and he hammers it, the 31-year-old, into the back of the net.
Shudra comes up and puts it deep into Cardiff territory. There seems to be a sense of urgency now about the Steelers' play out there with 15:24 remaining on the game. The shot comes in. Lyle goes down from a sharp angle. That bounces away. A chance now for the Devils as Townsend comes up on the left side. Townsend has Chin. Good pass through, but Chin couldn't get the stick on it. Kellen tips it away, but Townsend is there to pick it up right out front. And that goes off of Shudra's skate, and he clears it out to Stone. Stone just lays it off to the far side of the rink as the Devils look to get fresh legs on the ice. Plummer fakes the first shot. Plummer, no, so he scores! Plummer moving in front of the net, caught the goalie with the stick up, and that went along the ice. 5-4, this one is getting close.
Scoreboard racking round another one for the Sheffield Steelers here as the fans get into it. It was the Steelers fans that started the shouting match between the two sets of supporters. Plummer fakes one shot and then a beautiful whippy shot which beats the youngster for speed. Tommy Plummer, who took the big hit in game one, getting revenge of the kind he most wanted. Nice fake shot to get past Stone, and then the whippy shot through the 5-hole. That's the second one to go through. I wonder if we'll see Wood come back into it.
Nemeth puts it upstairs. The goaltender goes down, and that ends up in the near corner. Ruggles on the left side. O'Connor stays with him, takes it out of the play. This is better stuff from Sheffield. The Sheffield fans in the far corner of the rink really have come alive now as the Steelers come back on the attack. Wilson goes in. Wilson loses out as Lyle gets the stick out to shoot it away. A long clearance in by Neal. Bounces out of the zone. Cooper gets it up to Ruggles. Cooper. Chance. That shot went upstairs. Lawless got a piece of it. Mackay came out of his net. Cooper again. Lawless. Close in. Lawless again. Mackay puts the glove out and grabs it as Wilson towers over Lawless and pushes him out of the play. But suddenly those two quick goals by the Steelers have helped to lift this game and bring the Devils back into the game.
Well, Johnny Lawless, the player manager who's been out of action, hasn't looked short of fitness and couldn't quite get to that puck as Marty Mackay dived on it to take the whistle. But as you say, Paul, it's really come alive now, and the fans, for both sets of supporters, are cheering their team on as we reach the finale of it.
5-4 the score here in Cardiff. 4 goals separate these teams. 6-3 was the score last night. The Devils beating the Steelers in Sheffield. A surprise result. The Devils playing without 3 big players, Heavey, Cooper, and Manson, somehow pulled off an excellent victory, playing intelligent hockey, good positional hockey. Chin winds up the shot along the ice, and again we see the Devils going for the low shot on Mackay, trying to either feed it off the end of a stick or between the skates. Big hit there along the far side of the rink. Taggart whistles it down. Tommy Plummer, who was slightly concussed when he got hit last night by McEwen, showing today that he is 100% fit. Let's watch this again. Plummer races in. He knows what he's going to do from way back at the blue line.
Slightly concussed yesterday. Slightly.
Neal pops it into the corner. Nemeth is there against Ruggles. Neal and Handy. Back to O'Connor. O'Connor lets the shot go. That deflects high. Batted away by a glove hand. Ruggles picks it up, but the officials are indicating that that was batted forward by a glove hand, and Lawless says, no way. That shouldn't have been blown down. Taggart wants the face-off deep in the zone.
New rule this year allows you to use a hand pass in your own zone, but if the guy goes out of the zone before he gets the receives it, then the whistle will come. That's where the dispute comes from, that one. Quite a few new rules in the game this year.
Lawless and Nemeth. That comes back. Wilson, the shot just trickled by the near post. It took a deflection on the way towards the goal. Lawless wants the puck and gets it right at the blue. Lawless has Cooper. Cooper is well and truly offside on the left wing as the Devils broke over the blue. Sheffield with a change of personnel. We have 12 minutes and 51 seconds remaining. The Steelers need a goal to level it, and then they need 3 more to tie it. If that's the way it ends up, we'll have 10 minutes of overtime, and if there's still no one around to break the deadlock, then we'll have a shootout with 5 apiece going, and then if that's still tied, we'll go into sudden death shootout. Still a lot of hockey left in this game. McEwen gets it up, and it's battered along the boards. Ruggles just throws it in to Shudra. Cranston up to Millie. Millie and Cranston have started working well with Plummer out there. Plummer deep. Can't get the handle on that as McEwen shot it away. Shudra backing up as Shudra steps in on Ruggles. We have a penalty coming up. Big chops all the way down the ice, but hooking is the call. A lot of chopping and hooking, and Taggart gets Cranston, who is nursing that shiner from his encounter with Cooper, and puts him into the box for 2.
Puts the big grab on Hilton Ruggles and just holds him away, and Ruggles staggers past a couple of other Steelers players, but Taggart pulls the call on Cranston.
Ruggles is so difficult to stop. You could see there were 3 Steelers there. No one took the body, and even when they tried, he just wriggled through and split the defense, and eventually Cranston called for the hook. Dumas goes in on the power play and is eventually told to get out. Chin takes his place. 12 minutes, 13 seconds remaining on the hockey game. Nemeth doesn't want to kill off this penalty. He'd rather be at full strength and play the way these guys were playing in the first few minutes of this period. That shot over. Mackay comes out and smothers it. Having said that, Nemeth picked up a shorthanded goal in the second period. And at the time, I can remember saying they were playing better with a man in the box than they were at full strength earlier on.
But they were enjoying a good spell here, even strength at 5-on-5, and I think the last thing they really want is to be killing a penalty when they were getting the momentum going their way. It's a tall order still to get 4 more goals, but it's not an impossible order in ice hockey.
Sugar and Dumas. Sugar tries to kick it through. Neal, for some reason, chopped it the wrong way. He was off balance. Backed in along the boards. McEwen way back at the blue line. Bangs it off the boards for Chin. Chin sends it the rest of the distance. Dumas is there. He's got Townsend out front. Nicely to McEwen, over to Chin. Townsend ties his man up out front. Hope is throwing the arm around, telling his forwards where he wants that puck, but it doesn't come where he wants it. Still, it's batted in. Mackay steers it into the corner for Townsend. Townsend pops it around. Bounced off the back of the net, and the Steelers put it off the meshing and get it out of the zone. 1 minute on the power play. McEwen looking to get away from Nemeth. Nemeth was too quick to do that. Hope comes in to provide a little interference. Nemeth goes to the box, or to the bench rather. Ruggles keeps it low, and again we see the low shot on Martin Mackay. Bouncing puck. Who gets to it first? McEwen. Lawless just throws it into the corner. Millie is there, but the goaltender gets in his way. It ends up on Ruggles' stick now. The one-timer from Lawless. He scores, but the goal does not count. The goal does not count. The whistle had blown, and Taggart was perfectly positioned, and he said, no way, I blew the whistle. But again, the goaltender's reactions perhaps a little slow here on this one.
Whistle had definitely gone before John Lawless, the player manager, out of retirement, gets this one away. The whistle had gone before the puck had crossed the line. John Lawless, married with one little girl and another baby on the way next month, bringing Doug Smale into the Cardiff Devils lineup. And how awesome will they be when they get ex-NHLer with 12 years experience in the NHL into the lineup, Doug Smale. But Martin Mackay feels like he's playing against NHLers in this one already.
Well, just in case Lawless's little girl is listening, I got to tell you that his little girl is actually a little boy. I don't want to get any letters here. Cooper and Ruggles providing 1 or 2 heart-stopping moments there in front of the net. 18 seconds on the power play. Here comes McEwen. McEwen, good move to get away from Millie. Hits the blue line. McEwen with the roar of the crowd in the background. Gives it to Lawless. Lawless tries to put it in front. Plummer was there. Didn't bounce Millie's way. Right in front of one-timer Ruggles. And Mackay comes up big and then gets manhandled at the side of the net by Chris Kelland. Ruggles will stay out of this. Kelland will want to go for it. He has nothing to lose, but Ruggles knows, or he thinks he knows, he could be in the final. He doesn't want to miss anything. He's going to maintain his composure.
Ruggles has had a feisty game throughout the Steelers, throughout in this one. Martin Mackay makes a good initial save, and then Ruggles doesn't really have a big dig at it, and Kelland has the big dig coming in to clear the Montreal engineer out of the way. But it's a nice one-time shot and a good save, and he's down to cover up, and then, well, the argy-bargy starts. But no penalties called by referee Taggart. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
That's the kind of thing a goaltender loves to see. Clear those forwards out of there. Hey, where are my defensemen? He came in a bit late, but he did the job. He ruffed a few feathers. Cranston is back on the ice. The Steelers are back at full strength. Cranston gets up. A big hook there. Hope at the last minute threw it over to Ruggles. Nemeth. Long, high shot, gloved down by Martin Mackay as the Steelers now back at full strength come up. Wilson slams on the brakes and just bangs it off the boards. He's got to do something a little more positive than that. Ruggles in neutralized territory puts it over to Cooper in the corner. O'Connor goes after him. O'Connor ties him up nicely, and Scott Neal up to the blue line, still not out of the zone. Ruggles fakes the first shot, can't get the second shot away. O'Connor is all over him like a blanket. Neal along the boards. Gets roughed up by Chin. Wilson goes in. Ruggles is there. It really is difficult to slow these guys down. They're doing everything. And again, it's Ruggles involved in front of the net. Ruggles is getting rough treatment out there. Wilson giving him a hard time. Ruggles continues to hang in there.
Well, the French Canadians had a heck of a hockey game in this one. He seems to have been in the Steelers' faces for most of 6 periods of ice hockey. And he's there again. Cooper gets leveled in front of the goal by Cranston, and then behind the play, if you can just see it in the background, Wilson manhandles Ruggles once again. Hilton Ruggles will know he's been in a game, but he'll also be pleased with the way the scoreboard's ticking round.
Dumas gets it back. The shot is deflected away. Whoa, that came off the goaltender. It came off the meshing too, but Millie now breaks at the other end of the rink, and the Plummer was offside. No goal. Plummer is not happy with his call. Offside is the call by Murray. Plummer was neatly set up by Millie, and that would have been his 3rd goal of the game. But the whistle erased that. Let's see. Millie coming down. In his sights is Plummer. Feeds it over. Difficult to see with the camera from that angle whether Plummer was over the blue line, but there was no hesitation from the official. No goal. The offside whistle had blown. Back into neutral ice territory. 5-4 is the scoreline here. The Devils hanging on to this, but they still have a 3-goal lead from that first game, so it's now a 4-goal lead with 8 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the hockey game. Lyle makes the save.
Well, the two sets of players tending to talk to each other at the moment. I'm not saying they're exchanging pleasantries, but they are at least talking to each other. The fans are cheering against each other. Cranston's just given Dumas a big shot from behind, and Stephen Lyle comes up with this save for the Cardiff Devils to maintain the 5-4 lead on the night.
Handy in the face-off against McEwen. McEwen spins around. That goes into the corner. Hope is there in a hurry to put it behind the net. Wright gets a stick in. Tries to pop that 3. 1, 2, 3, 4 Devils in that corner. That comes out to Shudra at the red line. Shudra fires it back in. Picked up in the corner, bounces out nicely for Ruggles. Ruggles has Lawless and Cooper. Cooper tries to put it through the skate. Shudra has seen that move before. 1, 2, 3, 4. Steelers hitting that blue line. The shot from Shudra wasted wide. The other way, Lawless is breaking. Comes back. Good save on Cooper's shot by Martin McKay. Nemeth circles. Ruggles stays on him. A pass from Nemeth across the ice is deflected off of Ruggles' skate. Wright stops that at the red line and just pops it in. Both teams will try to get fresh legs out there. Hope hangs on to the puck and then puts it up and bangs it off the rafters. Did that come down?
I didn't see it bounce down, but I'm not going to go and get it either. You can get it later, Paul, even as a souvenir. The Sheffield Steelers do seem to have broken that mental barrier Alex Dampney was talking about in the interval. At least they believe at the moment, or appear to believe, they can play with the Cardiff Devils in this 3rd period.
Lots of action at both ends. Both goaltenders performing heroics out there. On that occasion, it was McKay. Shot from close in by Townsend, trickles by the post. And the Steelers now breaking quickly. Cranston trying to do a lot all on his own, and we have another penalty coming up. Cranston goes into the corner. Now Cranston should try to keep his cool out there. Taggart is standing back. He wants to assess the penalty, and the officials get in there. The indication is hooking. No one is making a move to the penalty box. Dumas now looks over and says, "Who, me?" Let's look at this one more time. The hooking penalty, well, that eluded me.
Well, they say these referees have X-ray vision sometimes. They don't really know what the penalty on Claude Dumas was called for there.
They say other things too about referees, don't they?
Well, you might, but I wouldn't.
2-minute penalty to Claude Dumas. 7 minutes, 21 seconds remaining on the clock. Face-off in neutralized territory as Ruggles gets it away and then gets double-teamed. Boy, every time this guy turns around, he gets hit out there. Plummer and Ruggles on the far side. This time it's Ruggles who comes off best. Plummer almost dumped into the Cardiff Devils bench by Ruggles. Didn't like that. Power play situation now. Cooper goes in and forechecks on Shudra. Here come the Steelers again. Time ticking down with 1:32 on the power play. Brought up on the right side by Kellen. Trying to get that puck out front. Neely goes in with Cranston. Cranston says, I'll take it. Slides it back onto the blue line to Kellen. Neely is there. Plummer is out front. Cranston, the three of them forming that triangle to throw the puck around. Shudra wants it on this side. Kellen gets the shot. A bouncing puck right in front. Goaltender goes down. And eventually it's cleared back to the blue line. Shudra takes the shot. The rebound is out. Plummer has it, picks it up. The shot is there, and it's blocked right in front. Another shot. That deflects high. Goaltender holding his ground out there, but these shots half the time are not even making it to the goal. The clearance up to Millie. Millie on the right side. 42 seconds on the power play. The Steelers coming back with everything. That's rocketed off the boards all the way down to Martin McCoy. Shudra right under our commentary position. Oh, his pass was just a hair too far for Handy, Ron Handy, the Canadian who played in Wichita, just inches away from picking up his 11th goal in this competition.
Steelers peppering in, but as you say, Paul, lots of bodies in front of Stephen Lyle helping to protect the young netminder. Not because they don't trust him, but because that's the way the Devils have been playing this one. They've been playing it tough when they needed to as well. Alex Dampier has got a team of players who feel a lot older than they really are when they check the bumps and bruises tomorrow after this one.
20 seconds remaining on the penalty to Claude Dumas of Cardiff. Shot in by Handy, cleared out of the zone all the way back to the Steelers blue line. Steelers again come forward. Wilson, stick handling, hangs onto that puck, puts it upstairs over the net, bounces right down, and cleared down the ice again. And Dumas steps back on the ice. The Devils are back at full strength. 5-4 the scoreline. 2 goals in this period by the Steelers. Neal and Plummer putting the puck over the red line. They've made it a lot more respectable. That's an icing call.
It's been a heck of a weekend for Tommy Plummer, the 26-year-old. He's 26 years old, as I say, but he'll feel about 66. That big hit we saw recently, which nearly put him into the Cardiff Devils bench, was one of a number. He had his bell rung yesterday, good and truly. And he's been looking a little shaky on the bench there, been drawing the big breath, but he gets a further rest now. And it's the Cranston line that goes out there on duty for the Sheffield Steelers.
Well, he's picked up a couple of goals, so it can't be all bad for Tommy Plummer. Shot right on the target, and McCoy, with a stick save, pounces on it, and we'll have another face-off. The same face-off circle. McCoy knows that the Devils are keeping that puck down low. They have scored a couple of low shots on him. He's quick with his glove, but perhaps not as quick with the stick and the skates. Bounces along the top of the boards. Doyle breaking over the blue line. The pass didn't come from Cranston. Dumas breaks up the middle and gets the pass from McEwen. 3 Devils coming through as Kellen ties up Dumas. Chin has the puck given to him, but here comes Cranston. Cranston coming down against Stone. Cranston unable to hang on to that bouncing puck. Stone pushed it in to the corner. And we have another face-off. Stone really has impressed me. His play on defense has been very, very steady. And believe me, when you're a forward and you're asked to play defense, it's a difficult task. You're not used to being back there skating backwards all the time, staying in your position. On that occasion, he got a break, a bouncing puck. But he really has played some good hockey.
21-year-old playing the channels very well, as you say, Paul, and sticking to his position, which is often difficult for a forward to do when he's dropping back on defence. But he even looks like Stephen Cooper at times out there.
Oh, I don't want to get involved in that one. 4:06 remaining in the hockey game. Scott Neal, poke check by Shannon Hope. Nemeth on the far side. Ruggles is right there waiting for him. Lawless takes it over the blue line, and Handy picks it up. Handy has been quiet in this one. You expect to see a lot more from an import. Handy now strutting his stuff, gets the shot, tries to put it upstairs. Lyle lost it as he got the glove hand up into his armpit. Deflected high. Here comes Lawless. Lawless looking for Ruggles. That almost worked. O'Connor gives it to Neal. Neal looking for things to happen from the corner and gives it to Lawless, who gives it to Ruggles. Ruggles coming down on a breakaway. Ruggles goes in, slides it along the ice. There's a goal for Ruggles. Excellent vision from the Cardiff Devils. Ruggles breaking down the ice all on his own. Slid it right along the ice as they've done so many times in this game to make it number 6.
Heads-up play by the player manager, John Lawless. Sees Ruggles with an opportunity to break, feeds him the puck, and Ruggles steams in full momentum as he approached Mackay and used that momentum on the puck to beat him low. Nice feed from Lawless. Ruggles takes it all the way in, but he's going as hard as he can all the way so that the puck has momentum before he even shoots it.
6-4 the score. Shudra, hard shot off the pads. The Devils back into a comfortable lead as we approach the final 3 minutes of this game. Kellen, his shot is wide of the target. Devils just seize the opportunity to shoot it down the ice. Icing will be the call. The faceoff will come back into Devils territory. So Ruggles, despite the numerous mentions that we've given him, picks up his first goal of the game.
Yeah, he hasn't been scoring goals, Paul, but he's been doing other things, hasn't he? He's been right in their faces.
Face-off in Devils territory with Dumas and Cranston being told to leave the face-off circle. Plummer goes in there. Stone takes over too. Plummer a chance from the side of the net. Lyle puts the glove down, and here we go again. Cranston with Dumas square off in the circle.
Well, you say Cranston and Dumas square off. Cranston squares off. Claude Dumas doesn't want to know any part of it and hasn't wanted to do anything about it throughout the whole game. Cranston has the big belly laugh about it afterwards, but it's Dumas who's really laughing because of the scoreboard.
Pushed into the corner. Cranston spins around. Dumas is right there from the side of the net. Cranston has it in a skate and doesn't know. Plummer tried to pop it in. A bouncing puck, and Cranston again, right in front. Shot, score! Well, a lot of hard work out there. Millie working with Cranston and Plummer. All three of them putting in a solid performance on that shift. And Millie comes up big.
Cranston can laugh now at his opposite number he's just been having argy-bargy with. He wins the puck here from Jason Stone and brings it out front and then slips it across the face of the goal area for Les Millie to fire one in behind the 14-year-old netminder. Good work by Cranston in the end. Get Cardiff paying the price for not clearing the crease area, and it's Cranston to Millie to the back of the net.
Shot right on target as Lyle goes down, cleared all the way down the ice, and again it'll go the distance. Icing is the call. We'll have another face-off in Cardiff territory. 2 minutes and 13 seconds remaining in the game. 6-5 the scoreline, but it's not about this scoreline that they have to worry about. It's the one last night, which was 6-3, so there's still 4 goals adrift in this hockey game.
Knowing they've got a 4-goal spread, that's why Cardiff is still throwing the youngsters out there.
Scott Neal in the corner, being shadowed. That comes all the way back to Shudra, who puts it to the far side. Kellen. Lawless tries to chop it out, and he does. Shudra back to Kellen. And it really does look like the Cardiff Devils are going to go into the final, which will be December the 3rd in Sheffield. Who will they play? Will it be the Edinburgh Racers or the Nottingham Panthers? McEwen says, give it to me, but he's a little too late there. Less than 2 minutes on the game.
Final takes place in early December at the Sheffield Arena. And the home fans were hoping to make it a night of celebration, an early Christmas celebration in that beautiful building up in Sheffield. But it's not going to be, is it? Because with 1:36 to go, 6-5, the Devils have a lead on the night, never mind on aggregate.
Another icing call as the Devils run down the clock here. Face off with Cranston getting set. McEwen goes in to join him in the face-off circle. Shudra back at the blue as Plummer moves in close to Shudra, now moving in even closer, looking for that draw to come his way. Bouncing puck goes all the way down the ice, and nobody saw that. McCoy missed it. Kellen didn't know where it was as it was flicked high into the lights. Cooper shadows as the puck is placed up on the left wing. Bouncing shot comes out front. Loose puck. Billy goes in the corner. Cooper is there, gets it up to Ruggles. Ruggles with a lot of room, has Chin with him. Slides it back to the blue line. Wrist shot, well handled by Martin McCoy. Another face-off coming. 1 minute and 2 seconds remaining on the game.
Cardiff obviously won its second period in the first leg at Sheffield, and although their entire team has played well, got to single out Doug McEwen for special mention. He played a shift up front, then a shift on defence, then had a short rest, and then did it all over again. He threw the big hit on Tommy Plummer, who was outstanding last night. A couple of mistakes tonight, but you forgive him then in return for the great work he's done the rest of tonight's game, and particularly last night.
Shudra and Chin in the face-off circle. Time running out for the Steelers. McCoy taps it off the boards. Under a minute now remaining. Handy being manhandled by Ruggles. A little tip forward for Nemeth. Nemeth circles, knows he's not got a lot of time left, so he takes the shot well wide of the target. A giveaway there, a chance. Net knocked off its moorings, and that really did look like an intentional removal of the goal post by Shannon Hope. He's the kind of guy, and I know him well, that'll do that kind of thing.
Well, he did. He did exactly that kind of thing. It was obvious. He even had the smirk on his face afterwards, I thought.
Well, Taggart didn't see it that way. The Steelers are still arguing. Let's look at this again, and there's Hope in close.
Well, it's there. The Devils can't get it away. And Shannon Hope says, let's have a face-off. Ron Hanley turns around and says, I can't believe you haven't called that. And Ken Taggart points to the clock virtually. It says 36 seconds to go. 4-goal spread on aggregate. I'm not going to call it 2-3 penalty now.
Handy. And McEwen. Bouncing puck drops nicely for Chin. Chin will wait till he hits the red line, as he does, and slides it down the ice. Kellen moves nicely through neutral ice territory, tries to find Handy. 18 seconds, shot down the ice, and another icing call as it comes back into Cardiff territory. I can tell you that McEwen, Chin, Dumas with 2, and Cooper and Ruggles have provided the entertainment as far as scoring is concerned. For the Devils, Plummer has had 2, Nemeth, Neal, and Millie for the Sheffield Steelers. But although they picked up 3 goals in this period, it's too little, too late. 6-5 is the scoreline here. 6-3 last night. 4 goals in it for the Devils. They are going to be in the final. Edinburgh Racers or the Nottingham Panthers. Who will it be? 1 second on the clock. There goes the buzzer to end the hockey game. And Cranston takes a swing at Shannon Hope. Cranston took a swing right at the buzzer. Shannon Hope didn't want to know. Excellent result for the Cardiff Devils. 1, 2, 3, 4 goals in the first period, 1 in the second, and 1 by Ruggles in the third period. That's all they needed. 6-5. The scoreline here, a solid performance by everyone, including the young goaltender, Stevie Lyle. He came in the second period after perhaps a shaky 20 minutes by Jason Wood. in the first period, and he really settled things down for the Devils. He was solid against Shooter, Nemeth, Plummer, so many opportunities. Did not go the Steelers' way with this youngster, Stevie Lyle, between the pipes.
He steadied the ship on the night, but as I say, the damage was done last night in Sheffield when no one gave the Cardiff Devils much of a chance of getting a result out of it with 3 key defensemen missing, but they've had a great game plan and they dropped back and protected Jason Wood's net close range.
The final score here in Cardiff, Cardiff Devils 6, Sheffield Steelers 5. The Devils go on to the final. We're going to take a break now. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the National Ice Rink here in Cardiff. The home supporters drifting away happy now. Their side, the Cardiff Devils, are through to the final of the Benson Hedges Cup. It's really been quite a night. They followed up their victory, Cardiff, last night in Yorkshire by beating the Sheffield Steelers 6-5 here tonight. They go through 12-8 on aggregate. And, Mike, I guess you'd have to say that's been a very satisfying performance for the Welsh side.
Yes, I think, you know, they really did play well tonight. I think the Sheffield really never were going to challenge them to get to that final. I think they played such a smart game, Cardiff, and they seem to overcome their injury problem with Stephen Cooper very well. I mean, John Lawless jumped in as a player coach, and he played very well. I thought he has his experience, and he's very smart out there. And they play a very smart game, the Cardiff Devils do.
We'll talk to you, as I said earlier, in just a moment about your game, but we now right the second can go to John Lawless, the Cardiff player coach. He's down by the side of the drink.
John, 2 very good performances on consecutive days.
Yeah, you know, Sheffield never said die. We were up by, I don't know, 6 goals on aggregate, but I think we tired near the end. But full credit to Cardiff for playing so well last night defensively, and then getting the win here, a narrow victory, but obviously enough to go through to the final.
In 4 weeks' time, you go to Sheffield for the final against Edinburgh or Nottingham. Any thoughts about that?
No, we got such a hectic schedule this week. We're off to Europe in the semi-finals, and then it's back to league action, and then obviously we'll take that when it comes. But I don't know, as far as I'm concerned, I think the only thing that's not hurting me at the moment is my teeth. I don't have a toothache.
Finally, will you have Paul Heavis back for the final?
I don't know. He's got an injury. It's soft tissue and ligament damage on the foot, so it's worse than a break, effectively, and we'll just have to wait and see.
That's it from the ice. Over to you, David.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, Mike Blaisdell is here. Let's just have a brief word with him before we go about next week. It's Nottingham against Edinburgh, and I guess that's going to be a tough one for you.
Well, I think, yeah, they have a very talented hockey team. They get good goaltending, and they've got probably one of the best British players in the country in Tony Hann. So we definitely have our work cut out for us, and it's going to be one great series, I think.
But in a way, you must take inspiration from what Cardiff have done, because the odds were stacked against them with injuries and form and other things. I mean, really, the way it's turned out has been a surprise, and no reason why you shouldn't do the same. Well,
yeah, we've been playing very well this year. We've had a couple slip-ups here and there, but we've got a very good hockey team this year, and Edinburgh, if they're going to beat us, they're going to have to play very well to beat us, I'll tell you that. I mean, it should be a very good series. And you've got injury problems too, and in fact, you're actually playing, I think, next Saturday. Well, our problem is we had a player walk out on us, didn't really settle here, he and his wife, and so I've been forced to play like John Lawless is being forced to play. So I'm hoping to get the new guy in as quick as possible, because I'm not up to par, really. Well, Mike, safe journey back to Nottingham. Thanks for joining us and being our guest tonight. Have a good journey, and like I say, we look forward to seeing him next weekend, and indeed his team. We're at Nottingham on the Saturday, Edinburgh on the Sunday. From all of us here in Cardiff, it's good night and goodbye.